what, like, what moment or what happened for you to give the advice that you would give at 18? Like, because you keep saying, like, focus on yourself. Like, what happened for you to be like, okay, it's time to be like, this is not what I need right now. What I need is to focus on myself, and everything else will come into play when it's supposed to.
Yeah, that's such a cool question. For me, so like I dated in high school and I dated through all of college, and then like after college I dated, and I think I just kept running into the same issues with like my partners and even my friends too. Things just like didn't feel good, and I would like confide in my friends about events that happened or behaviors that I would find in partners, and my friends would be honest with me and be like, Liz, like that sounds pretty like not fun. It sounds kind of it sounds like you deserve better than that. And I think having that kind of perspective from friends was really important. And then at some point, I remember a couple years ago, I think it was in the middle of the pandemic, wild time. I started seeing my first therapist, and I know that my sister had a therapist when she was younger. I don't know how great of an experience that was, having a therapist that's like a young person in Panama, like way back in the day.
Yeah.
I think that like therapy has been more normalized and come a long way. So I remember I got a therapist, and that was really tough because, I don't know if you've been to therapy, but like finding a therapist that really fits what you need, and like, you feel like you're not being judged, but rather like working on something like I had to figure that out. And I was like, man, this sucks. This is really hard.
It's like harder than finding a job. Like,
yes. Yeah. Oh my God. It's like, and you really have to, it might not be the first one. Like you can't just get one and be like, okay, they're gonna like fix my, it's like, no, if you don't get along, like you got to get out.
Run.
Yeah. Run away. Block them. Don't go back to this. Oh my God. I felt that way. I talked to a couple therapists, like trying to find a good one. I'm like, oh man, I hope I never cross paths with you again. Cause that was like, it's such a process. Like it's so emotional. It's also like, all right, do you take my insurance? Like, are you available? Like, do we vibe and stuff like that? But I think going to therapy, that was also something just like, seeing patterns and saying like, hey, like, this is how you feel. Do you want to keep feeling this way? And if the answer is no, like, okay, so what are we going to do about that? What are those action items? How do you want to feel? So I think for me, it was repeated relationships, and then going to therapy and starting to surround myself with people that were more, involved with like sports or arts, just like having a good time, not relationship based. And also like my last partner, like we broke up, and I was like, I need to just be single. I really need that. What a privilege to be single, honestly. And unmarried as like a young woman, like we're the happiest like subgroup. Unmarried women. So like I'm here for it. Like I will dive in, especially like I said, I feel like a lot of people in the military too are brought up to say like, you got to find a spouse and like come in and lock in.
I was going to ask you that, like, was it your parents' marriage that influenced you to be like, okay, like I want to find what they have and like, just kind of really get into that?
Part of that, my family always stressed like partnership and marriage and how that was important to do. Like they always stressed like go to like can't have a kid until you're married, and you can't get married till you have your college degree. So I was like, okay, like I guess that's the sequence. But also, like I said, I grew up Catholic, and then my mom's side of the family is Latin. So like all my aunts, like they all met guys who were in the military, and they locked it down, they got married, and they left Panama. And it's like, women's lives were defined by like the man that you marry. And I just like, I'm definitely a product of that. But I just also was like, man, it just doesn't feel, this is not very fun. Like, I feel like I should find relationships that are, like healthier. So,
Yeah. It seems like, even though like what they were teaching you, yes, like partnership is awesome and amazing, as you know, your parents have shown you. It seems like they skipped the part of like you have to be yourself first. You have to know who you are before you get into a relationship. It was kind of like you said, college, marriage, kids. So, do you feel like therapy is teaching you that? Like, I need to know myself before I get into partnership with somebody else?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like, what does it mean to be your own person, and kind of like trusting yourself. I feel like growing up in a military household, it was very much like, this is happening to you, at you, and you don't have a choice. Like, if you're sad, like, kind of tough. Like, can you imagine people who are deployed? They have it harder than you. So, kind of just not deal with it. But, I was thinking about, this talk that we're having right now prior to this night. And I think that was something that, like, I really learned and got to reflect on also, is like, in a military household, like, yeah, you're a kid, like, you don't have any say, like, maybe in like what you wear, and like where you sit at lunch, but like not where you live, not how you act, because the way you act has a direct impact on your folks. And it was almost like, it's like growing up and you're really living, and I know I said it in a joking way, but like you really are living in service of your parents, and they're living in service of the military. So like, I really was serving the military. Come on. Like, I was cooperative. I was obedient.
Come on now. Yes. I tell my mom this all the time. She's like, you didn't serve. I was like, Mom, like, come on. Didn't I though? Like, come on. I had to represent you, and me representing you represented the military. So, I mean, one plus one somewhere. Thank you. Where are my benefits? Okay.
Because I don't see them. Why am I paying rent?
Something. Give me something. Or like going to the store and they're like, we have military discount. Oh, that's great. What is that supposed to do for me?
Right.
I'm past 26. I'm past 26.
All right, you gotta give me something. Living with this every day. Yeah. Honestly, Gina, once you sit back and think about it, it's like, dag, I really did that for all those people. Man.
But what are you going to do exactly? Like, it was life. And do you feel like you compartmentalize things growing up? Like, I'm sad. This goes in this box. This goes in this box. Like happiness, like different things like that.
Yeah. Or even like, even just like having difficult feelings, like maybe not even knowing how to work through them. And I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Something about growing up was just kind of like, it is what it is. And, that's it. There's no real other choice in like how you feel, or like if you're having I think what I said earlier, I feel like that was really true. Like, you're having a bad day, like, yeah, imagine what it could be like. Your life could be worse.
Yeah.
Right. You could be in a war zone, or you could be deployed, or your father could have passed away if he like, if he was deployed and stuff like that. Like, but I think that's like a coping mechanism that you inadvertently adopt as like as an army brat, just kind of pushing through and, staying focused. So yeah, definitely, I don't know, definitely boxing away feelings and things like that happened. And, but also like when you grow up around other army brats, it's like, they're good, like they're getting by, they're having a good time, they're going through something similar. So I guess it's like, it's fine and normal. But then when I went to college and I met so many people that weren't affiliated with the military, I was like, whoa, you guys are all like, Like, very different. Like, you're very calm and you're very
Yeah.
like, there's not a lot of, it seems like you don't have a lot of worries. Like, it seems like you're just like okay with things and you're not on edge. And I'm like, dang, where did you come from?
Something's not adding up here. Like, my life was up here and you just like, man, do you feel like because thinking about it, do you feel like we were like kind of emotionally stunted in a way? Like, you can't feel these emotions fully. You have them, but you can't really confront them because right now your parents need to focus on the mission, and the mission comes first because it's saving lives. And so, like, you just kind of feel like, oh, you go out into the world and it's like, what the heck is this feeling? Like, I've never really felt this before. And for the first time, I can fully feel it. Like, what is this? Did you feel that too?
Yeah. Or kind of like not understanding how like certain folks could like get through, like, I don't know, studying for like a really difficult exam or, just like being so relaxed, making friends, like, because I've always been able to make friends. It's not a problem, but I feel like trusting the process, because for me, like, making friends is like, well, I'm probably not gonna, I might not see you next year. So I'm like going to make the most of this and have some really fun times. And that is a great way to make friends and meet people, but it's rare for me to like be with somebody and know that like for 10, 15 years, like you're going to be here tomorrow. Like, I'm going to see you. And trusting that. But yeah, definitely like just like the emotional part of just, I don't know. I think like also with the military, like there's a right way to do certain things. And heaven forbid you get it wrong or like, and then you like have a bad attitude about it. It's like, you better get it right. And if you don't get it right, then just like kind of, we don't want to talk about how you didn't get that right. I mean, grades or having friends or sports. So it's like a performance, really. So